Good morning, and welcome to News and Politics Today with Renee and Calvin Boston Hill. We're here at Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM WBISLP. And our call in number, because maybe some of you, my listening audience out there, would just like to get some stuff off your chest that you're feeling frustrated. Calvin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Renee.
And I know that I'm going to go off on a rant because I when I was thinking about our show today, I first would like to send our condolences to the Black people up in Buffalo that were murdered, and the three that are have been shot that are still alive. And it's important that our listening audience know that we every single day we don't know where the next set of trauma is going to be coming from. Calvin, we survived the pandemic. We have this war going on in Ukraine. We have a food insecurity all over, and and now this shooting by an 18-year-old man who wants to well, he pleaded not guilty. There were flags all around, and there are plenty of flags out there of white people who have had mental issues, and then yet they're allowed to buy guns. So one of the things, Calvin, I want to talk about, and our number is 252-756-2008. um, do you know your next door neighbor? Do you think that they would come out and start shooting up because they want to increase the white population? We know that there's something called the replacement theory, and I'm going to give the definition for the replacement theory. I do know that it's attached to white supremacy, and we have terrorists. We know there's terrorists because they stormed the Capitol January the 6th, and we don't know where the next domestic strike, is going to be coming from. And not only do we have to worry about the domestic strike, but we also have to worry about international people, because of this war in Ukraine and the support the United States is giving Ukraine. They could retaliate here internationally on this country. So, Calvin, I mean, what do you have to say?
Well, since we were talking about replacement theory, I'm just going to take us back a little bit because, the white man at one point was the minority in this United States. When they first came here from Europe, well, they were the minority, and being the minority, what they did is they annihilated, wiped out the Native Americans. That's what they did. And that's how, in my opinion, how they became the majority at one point. Now they're looking at the fact that they might not be the majority anymore. So what's going to happen? Now they're out here trying to eliminate that by killing Black and brown people. One of the things that you always say, Renee, and I'm going to repeat it right now, is that where can Blacks be safe in America? That is a question that we put out there, and I know that you put it out there quite often. Where can we be safe in America? I can remember this going back about maybe 5-6 years ago. We went fishing, and the individual white man came over there and started talking to me, and he said, "I'm going to do you a favor." And I thought that he was going to tell me where to go catch some more fish. He told me, "Don't get caught down here after dark." And that was right here, about 31 miles from Pitt County. Hoboken, right. So, that's why you never know who you're talking to. I can also tell you another story. There was an individual, they used to come and talk to me. White man used to come and talk to me at my job. And he ended up losing his wallet. When his wallet was found, they gave it to me because I was in charge. So now I had to call this individual to come to get his wallet. In order to do that, Renee, I had to go through his wallet to get his information. Well, I ended up finding a Ku Klux Klan a card in his wallet. So you never know who you're talking to. So my thing is this replacement theory is for real.
Okay, and we like to also, our phones are open at 252-756-2008. Perhaps some of our listening audience, Calvin, would like to extend their condolences, their sympathy to the families who have lost their family members. And the thing is that in this little town, there was like really only one supermarket, and this man, 18-year-old man who murdered 10 people, he drove over 200 miles to get to this one supermarket in this town in Buffalo. So he went there intentionally because it wasn't anybody that he knew there to kill. And he pretty much succeeded. And then it's stated here also is that he was going to go on additional rampage. He was looking to kill more people if he was not stopped. So what do y'all feel about this?
Well, I tell you, he was prepared to not get shot. See, a lot of people. I was to the TV this morning, the radio this morning, and they said, well, some of the people was talking about where they should have killed him. Well, in a way, I'm sort of glad they didn't kill him, and I know a lot of people might say, the way I'm thinking is a little different, but because if they killed him, we would not find information out. We need to find out, who he was working with. These individuals don't always work by themselves. They don't get trained by themselves because he had a bulletproof vest on. Where did he get that? And who told him that he needed to get a bulletproof vest? The gun he had he was able to purchase these guns, and the thing is the magazine that he had all the bullets in, that's what was illegal. So we need to make sure that we don't have all these magazines that can put 50, 60 rounds in a magazine. That is absolutely unlawful as far as I'm concerned.
And again, tomorrow here in North Carolina, this is our election day. And again, what we always do is we let you know the targeted, not the word targeted, we let you know the people who are part of that insurrection. They did not vote to certify the election. Again, elections have consequences. President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, they are the legitimate president and vice president of this United States. However, you have people who are on the ballot, okay, that voted not to certify the election. And this is what we say. We need to make sure that you listening audience are educated on the people who you are voting for. Do not vote for name recognition. Do your homework. Find out how this particular candidate voted or in the time that he's been in office or did not vote. We know that there are people who did not vote, not only to not certify the election, but when it came to the John Lewis voting rights bill, they did not vote for it. There are people who actually did not vote to guarantee fair elections or fair elections for everybody. There are people who did not vote for the HR1 bill, and that bill was to bring out the dark money that are going behind campaigns. There are people who actually, and these are people that we sent to Washington to represent us. And so you have to ask yourself, are we truly represented, or do we have people who are in there, all right, with the power that can either make or destroy your life and your community? So know who you are voting for. Elections have consequences. We have people that when the Ukrainian war started, that they were supporting and praising Putin. Do you go do your homework? I do my homework. We voted already, but we need to make sure that the people who we are putting and sending to Washington for us, they are like minds with us. And not only do we have to worry about voting rights, we also have to worry about women's rights, the freedom to choose, and how people are now trying to say to the world how to control states by state by the federal government, because we know that there is something coming out by the Supreme Court um, about women's body and rolling back Roe v. Wade.
Wait, Renee, I think that every woman in these United States should be voting uh, because, especially now that the Republicans, I'm going to put this right out there, they're trying to control the women bodies. How can a man tell a woman that she can or cannot control her own body? They're saying that, and some states are ready for this Roe v. Wade to pass, in the Senate, and the states going to automatically say that women cannot have abortions, and they considering that if once a woman get the
Pregnant.
pregnant, yes, once a woman gets pregnant, a lot of times they don't even know when they're pregnant in the first month or two. So this is so important. This topic is so important. And our men out there have to support our women in this because, we say, well, we don't get pregnant, of course. However, women get pregnant. Women get raped. I'm not saying men don't get raped, but now we're focusing on women. Women, they have incest issues. And I'm talking about little girls. I'm not talking about grown women now. I'm talking about little girls, 11, 12, 13 years old. All of this here, is going on. So, and what's happening is they saying now, well, 13-year-old get raped, she can't have an abortion. That doesn't make sense to me because the other thing, Renee, is that they're talking about the fetus inside the womb. Once the baby is born, they could care less. And the reason that I say that is because they don't want to give the people money for these babies. A lot of them are destitute. How can a woman child give birth, a 13, 14-year-old give birth, and don't even know nothing about that? I think that we need to look into that and vote for the people that is going to protect our women.
And the thing is that like I said, there's always something going on, and we have this Congress that's so dysfunctional because anything that the president is trying to do that would make life better for people, they're not voting for it. So I mean, and if some of these bills that are coming onto the floor, if they are bills that you support, then what you need to make sure that whoever you're going to that poll on and you have that ballot, and you should know, because before I even went to the poll, Calvin, what did I do? I printed out our ballot, not only for us but for our family members, and we wanted to make sure that they understood. We gave them enough time if they wanted to do research, but we also told them, well, this is who we feel that would be best for you, and we gave them the reason why. And so again, elections have consequences. The actual general election will be held tomorrow, May 17th. Know who you're voting for before you walk into that poll, and do not strike names off just because, okay, well, I like the way this name sounds. We have got to make sure that we vote right, because and if things don't go out the way we want to, it's not because we did not vote. The also, Calvin, democracy. Again, those people who actually sided with Putin, okay, some of them are now very quiet. And you don't see them all over the internet, but I'm calling them out, okay, because they didn't certify the election, okay? They did not vote for the John Lewis bill. They did not vote for HR 1. They did not vote for the George Floyd that in that bill was so many things that would protect us. Okay. They did not vote. Well, they did vote for the lynching law. But what I'm saying is that educate yourself. You do not want democracy to go away like Russia is trying to push into Ukraine. And and we have got to understand that, and on the, after the break, I'm going to talk about food insecurity and how we need to prepare ourselves for food to make sure we have enough food.
Well, food is so important. And the thing too, I'm going to go back to the voting. How we're always telling individuals, take someone. Don't just go to the voting place, the precinct, and by yourself. Take someone. We always say that. So that's what we did. We took 3 other people. We have a 18-year-old grandson, just turned 18. He got his permit. He registered, and we made sure that he registered. And we took him, and we took 2 more people. So take someone with you when you go to these voting booths. Make sure that you don't go there alone, because we need to make some changes. And in order to make changes, we need to vote. That's how we make changes. We can complain to each other all day, Renee, but if we don't vote to make the change, then we're invisible.
And one of the things is that came out from the January 6th commission is that there were actual Congress people who were part of the planning. And again, if you're in a town, because we are all over the country, we have our good friend Donna, who always listens to our show from Virginia. Good morning, Donna. And and then we have people, like I said, from all over, and it's important that you understand that we are doing our best. We're here once a week, Calvin, on for a Monday at 10 o'clock, and once we leave, we do not know when we're going to be able, or what will be the new subject matter. What we talked about last week was so important, and is still important now, but then there's always something that gets to over, to knock it out.
As they say, Renee, there's always breaking news.
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
but I just want to go over something too, because you're talking about the committee, for January the 6th.
Yes.
Well, this is one of the first times that some senators have been and congressmen have been subpoenaed, and we're going to see what happens now. And there was 5 lawmakers that have been subpoenaed to appear in front of the January 6th committee. And we don't know if they're going to, I'm sure they're going to try everything that they can not to appear. But you want to read the names out, Renee? You want me to do it?
You can do it.
All right. Well, we have Representative Kevin McCarthy. We know that name. They want him to appear May 31st. Representative Andy Biggs of Arizona. They want him May 26th. And Representative Scott Perry for May 26th. This is a good one here. Representative Jim Jones. I think Jim Jordan. They really need him to go there. And they want him to appear May 27th. And then you have Representative Mo Brooks, May 31st. These subpoenas have been issued. Now, the thing is, what's going to happen if they don't appear? In my opinion, nothing. Because they look at what has been happening. They subpoena other people and they haven't appeared. So, and these here representatives, they're in office now, but they need to, if they don't go appear, Renee, they need to be, the marshal need to come and get them.
Well, of course, that's what we feel. That's what we feel, and what we feel is not necessarily what's going to happen. We are coming up for our first break. We'll be back at Voice Awesome Radio, News and Politics Today.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by CT Cleaning Service, 919-345-5823. Nationally certified and bonded for COVID cleaning, commercial and residential, and for all general cleaning. CT Cleaning Service, 919-345-5823. Have a peace of mind that your place of worship, your office building, your home, and your place of work have been nationally certified COVID cleaned, disinfected, and sanitized. 919-345-5823. Thank you, CT Cleaning, for your support.
Jesus told a story about a bunch of religious folks who got together for dinner, and a prostitute crashed the party. And now that was a dumb prostitute. Any prostitute that goes to a party of Pharisees is out of her mind. At any rate, she wanted to be next to Jesus, and Jesus never turns anybody away. Here's what Jesus said about her, and maybe about you and me. Those who are forgiven a lot love a lot. If you're pure and good and righteous, you're probably a pain in the neck. But if you're one of the sick ones for whom Christ died, you've probably been forgiven enough to love enough. I'm Steve Brown. You think about that. Hey, I got a free booklet for you. It's called How to Believe. Just go to youthinkaboutthat.com.
You're listening to Awesome Radio 106.9 WBISLP.
And welcome back to News and Politics Today with Renee and Calvin Boston Hill. We are here at Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBISLP. And just for the information also, Calvin, I want our listening audience to know that sometimes some of these topics are very sensitive, very need to have this conversation. And these thoughts and these words that we put out there are strictly our points of view. We invite our listening audience to call and to let us know how they feel about certain topics. But Awesome Radio does not necessarily stand with us in some of our views.
Well, that's yeah, and you're right, Renee. And again, this is also a Christian station. We sort of curb the language that we use because we're going to be respectful. But the other thing is, I'm just going to go over a little bit about the COVID, Renee, because a lot of people think it's over with. Well, let me just bring you up to date. Within the United States, there is 64,769 new cases of COVID. And not only that, Renee, but however, there's been 445 deaths because of this COVID. So it's not over with. People think that it's over with. People, you go in the store now, if you see 10 people, you might see 2 with a mask on. Well, again, as usual, we wear our mask everywhere we go, because it's so important to protect yourself, protect your loved ones. And like I said, this COVID is still killing individuals. People are still dying from it. And it's okay until it affects you. Once it affects you, then you say, well, I should have done what the CDC was telling us to do. Well, sometimes we just have to be grown up and do what we think is right. If you have a child and you see your child playing with something dangerous, well, you're not going to let them do it. You're going to tell them to stop. You're not going to let your child touch fire because it's going to burn them. Well, that's the same thing with this COVID. You need to protect yourself, protect your family, protect people that's around you. Because like I said, Renee, this COVID is still killing people. However, on an up note, there has been a lot of people have taken the vaccine, and there's been over 581 million people have taken the vaccine. That's a good note, and we appreciate that. But we also need more people to take all the vaccines. You get the 2, 3 doses. Now there's a fourth one. The booster, we need to make sure that we are covered and take care of our family, because if I'm not mistaken, Renee, I think 5 and up can get the vaccine now.
Yes.
and that's what we need. We need to make sure that our young children get it as well, because they're in school, they're all around different children. Children, they like to be in each other's face. They're not going to stay distance. They're going to be right in each other's face, touching hands. So we want to make sure that everybody is safe. That's the bottom line. To be safe, you have to, get the shot and just get it and be over with it. We got ours, and we can continue to be safe wherever we go and who we see. People that come up to me and they don't have the mask on, I make sure they stay back, because I don't want anybody getting, close to me. They don't have a mask on. That means they could care less about me.
Yeah, and in addition to that, we do know that there's a new variant out. We did not get the second booster, which we said we we're going to do. And hopefully next week, Monday, we can tell you that we have gotten it. And the other part of it, there are countries that are on lockdown. I was reading something and I was trying to find it, that North Korea, they're battling the virus, and they don't have the vaccine over there. So they're, and this goes to show you, without that vaccine going, they don't have access to it. They are going to, they're going to be dying. China, the other thing, they didn't bother to vaccinate the elderly. So they're on a lockdown because they don't want it to get to be any worse than what it is. So get your vaccine. That's and the U.S. deaths from COVID hit, 1 million, less than 2 years. So perhaps maybe of somebody in your family that has died from the vaccine. Perhaps you can call.
From the COVID, not the vaccine.
I mean, thank you for correcting me. That's very important.
That's right.
Because we're talking about people getting the vaccine. And we don't want to discourage you to think that people have died because of it. So, get the vaccine. Let's not go back to where we were, where we could not go out and about. Just know that people, even once they have the vaccine, still get the virus, and some are still dying. However, that chance of it happening to you is less if you are protected.
Well, that's the main thing, is being protected. Right here in Pitt County, because that's where we are living, in Pitt County, and so many people think that it's over with. It's not over with. I just gave you statistics. That is how many people have died. 445 people in the United States have died recently from this COVID. That's before. I mean, that's after they said that we had reached that 1 million deaths. So we are still dying. People are still not taking this as serious as it should be. We want you to be around, to be with your family, be with your loved ones.
Okay, so again, elections have consequences. I don't care if, Calvin, if I repeat this every other word about the elections tomorrow. And I said I was going to give the names of the officials who we sent to Congress to do work, and now they are not voting practically on anything. But it's important that when January 6th happened, these people who were in Congress, in the House, they knew that the insurrection was going down. And they probably will say, I didn't know. But what I do know is that I have Rep. Richard Hudson. I'm not sure if he's on the ballot because he's down in Fayetteville, but he didn't vote to certify the election. We also have Virginia Fox. I'm not sure where she is, what district, but she didn't vote. These are all North Carolinians. There were 147 people in the House that did not vote to certify the election. So they believed and they were supporting the lie that Trump won the election. The other people, David Rouser, not sure if he's on the ballot. Greg Murphy, mm. Madison Cawthorn, mm. Ted Budd, mm. and Dan Bishop. These are all people, okay, from North Carolina. Can someone call and Google your state to find out what elected officials did not want to certify the election?
Well, that is so important because a lot of people, they're gonna stay. They think they're gonna stay home, because this midterm doesn't matter. This midterm election matters more than I can express because it's so important. It's so important that we get the Senate, because right now the Senate is just holding everything up, because then we have the Congress people, and even the Congress people. There's a couple people that are holding things up there. They're supposed to be Democrats, but yet there is one Democrat that's openly supporting Republicans. So I don't understand that one.
Well,
they should just change their status from Democrat to Republican.
Well, that's up to them, okay? But like I said, you know the party, what party people are in, and if you want to support a particular party, then that's what you do. But here we have to say that we are nonpartisan, so that and what party these candidates that we're speaking about, what party they belong to. And again, you probably voted for a lot of them in the past, and you probably might vote for them again. But just understand that it's your responsibility once you become a voter, as of 18, to go and understand where these people that you're voting for, what are their past. Right, we have a break coming up. Awesome Radio.
Partial funding for this program is brought to you by Blessed Hands Car Wash and Detail Plus, 2016 Chestnut Street, Greenville. Vehicle inspections, U-Haul rentals, spick and span hand vehicle wash and detail. That's Blessed Hands, 252-413-0609. Open Monday through Saturday, 8 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Blessed Hands Car Wash and Detail Plus, 2016 Chestnut Street, Greenville, 252-413-0609. Thank you, Blessed Hands Car Wash and Detail Plus, for your support.
Yes, there's talent. Talent is beautiful. It's God-given. It's wonderful. It's wonderful that we would have talents, but there's gifting and there's talent, but then there's the genius in the grit, the tenacity, the willingness to not let go. The rare quality is in the true grit. You see, talent is really common. True grit is the uncommon thing.
My name is Dominique Eugene, and you're listening to Awesome Radio, 106.9 WBIS.
All right. Ooh, yeah. Well, oh, yeah. Here we go, y'all. Sing a little message out to those of y'all who feel like you're struggling.
And good morning and welcome back to News and Politics Today with Renee and Calvin Boston Hill. We're here every Monday from 10 to 11, and you have an opportunity to call in and say how you're feeling about things. 252-756-2008, and we are at Awesome Radio 106.9 FM WBISLP. Now, Calvin, we also spoke right before the break. They say North Korea battles COVID without vaccines. Highlighted in here, Putin has a warning for aspiring NATO members. So these are the things that are conversations that are in the back that can cause a person, well, if Putin is upset, what would he do to us here in America that are heavily involved with the fight with Ukraine for their democracy? We're fighting for our democracy here. And believe it or not, democracy is on the ballot tomorrow. Democracy will represent, and that's why we say that you have got to research the people that you feel you're going to vote. You have encumbrance. An encumbrant is a person who is currently in the position, and now they're coming to you because they want you to vote for them again. But we did our homework. We know why and how we are voting. We knew because we voted. We knew that this person would it be a good representative for us or not. So we did our homework. We did the homework for our children to make sure that they understood, and we explained to them. And it's important as older voters that you get someone, number one, to take you to the polls so that you can vote, and number two, that you, if you are a voter and you know that someone is 18 and registered, because Friday was the last day that you can go into a polling site and not be registered to vote, but you could register then. Um, the main election, only registered voters can vote. And I would hate to have a missed opportunity, particularly if you stand against guns. You know, you want gun control. Look at the history of the person who's asking you to vote for them. You know, do they support the NRA that is putting all these guns in the hands of people? If you support a woman's right to choice, to choose, look who are the candidate. What is their history on women's rights, black rights, mixed marriages, white rights, and we know that there are people who are supporting certain things. Okay, that oh, I don't know. What am I saying?
Well, you're right. You have certain individuals that support the fact that they don't want mixed marriages. Even when I say mixed marriages, I'm talking about between a black man and white woman, or vice versa. This is stuff that we have to look at, because once they pass this Roe v. Wade, so many things gonna come into effect. Because they talk about pushing it back to the states. And if you have certain states that say, well, we don't want individuals to marry, well, they can make that a law, between a man and a man, or a woman and a woman. In my world, you don't know who you're going to fall in love with, and once you fall in love with someone, it doesn't matter whether they are a different race than you, because love is love. And you can't say, well, I'm not going to love this individual because they're a different race than me. Love is love, and that's just the way life is. God put us all here, and you just love who you decide to fall in love with. That's all I can say on that, Renee. I can't say any more about it, because when I saw you, I said, well, this is someone I can keep.
Well, I'm so happy you decided to do that because I kept you too.
Yes, you did.
Well, anyway, we need to make sure that that the candidates that we're going to be voting for, that they share our values, okay, that they share our beliefs, and it's so important that we have people that are like that. Also, some of my notes, I don't even read my notes anymore. We have okay, there's a record-breaking jobs that are available. However, we're still fighting. And again, does the person you're voting for, does he support changing the minimum wage from $7.25 to $15? So many corporations have reported large amounts of money, that they've made profits, but yet they are not, those profits have not and will not trickle down to the people who are actually out there on the line doing the work. So we need to make sure that anybody we vote for, they support a living wage. We also Clarence Thomas, one of our what is he? He's a judge,
Supreme Court
a
justice.
Supreme Court justice. He had, and it was his right. He came out and he made a whole big speech about fairness and how can you trust the courts. Well, Clarence Thomas, what about Jenny? Did you give those those, what do you call those, briefs to Jenny so she can put them out there?
This is a question, not a statement.
Yeah, so but I know Clarence Thomas is not going to respond. But when we have people like this on the supposedly Supreme Court, that is the highest court, a court where people, when they leave off this court, they will leave. Well, they can retire, or pretty much they're dead. You know,
Right.
these are lifetime committed positions, and we. What can we do with this guy?
Well, Renee, it's not so much what we can do with this guy because he's not going to recuse himself from any of the cases that they have, even though some of the cases might be and have to do with the January 6th committee. But the thing too is, his wife, this is where we have to start looking at, because Jeannie Thomas, she supported this insurrection. How did she support it? Well, she paid for buses, for individuals to go down there. She support them. Even to this day, she's saying that the president and the vice president are not legitimate. This is what you have to look at. And the thing is, Clarence Thomas should recuse himself for any case that has to do with her or the January 6th. And, I'm just saying that the January 6th committee need to subpoena her and get her in there and ask her some questions, because I think that, we need to find out, who does she give money to for this January 6th insurrection?
Well, we do know, and it's not something we're making up, that the January 6th committee knows that she was on the phone and was very intricated into Trump's presidency. She told him who to hire, who to fire, and she was very instrumental in telling Mark Meadows, this is documented, I'm not making it up, what to do about the legitimacy of our 2020 presidential election. And we also have the 2022, and they are managing to put people in place so that if they don't like the outcome of the election, then they can change it. Elections have consequences. You have got to know who you're voting for and vote for people who are of like minds of you. And that's what we did when we voted this past weekend. Now, Calvin, what and then now the January 6th, that committee, they're going to be putting things on TV come next month. So you need to make sure that you're paying attention to that.
Well, while you're thinking, I'm just going to bring up someone, Herschel Walker. He is running for office, and former President Trump got this black man to run for office. And to me, again, you can't say Uncle Tom, because Uncle Tom, if you look at the history of Uncle Tom, that was a good name, But you take someone like him, Herschel Walker, he should not be running. I mean, he had cases against him for beating his wife. But some people, endorse him because I guess they think like him.
Okay, so we're just going to switch a little bit because, again, you might not be thinking about it. You might go into a grocery store and see that the things that you are purchasing, that they're there. However, one of the things that we have to think about in the future, because we, or the country, the world, they received a lot of different things from Ukraine and also Russia. They were big providers of wheat, they were big providers of corn and other products. So now they're saying that there's going to be a shortage. And again, it just means how do you arrange your life so that the things that you need in your house to function, that you have a way of making sure that they stay there. So food insecurity is something that maybe right now it's not hitting you in your when you go to the store, but it's hitting your pockets because the little things that we picked up this weekend that we wanted to have in our house, Calvin, it was costing us more money. And I don't know why we have to keep shopping every day. Is this we need to get a job because we are constantly going
Something.
into the store. But I just want to say that Ukraine shipped a lot of food to Africa, a lot of wheat, a lot of their products went there. And there is a famine going on. People are actually dying in Sudan and also
Somalia,
no, Ethiopia. And we need to find out what is the replacement if Ukraine, because now they're saying the farmers there, if they go into their fields, Russia has planted mines in there. So they have to remove the mines so that they can begin to start to harvest the wheat so that they can get that back out there. But food insecurity, you would be surprised that if you Google and you went online, that there are ways and places that they are supplying people with food that so that you will not have to be an individual. A garden is another good thing. That's something that Calvin and we've implemented in our yard. We were successful during the pandemic to harvest stuff. And we're still living off of some of the things we got from last year.
You're right, and we have a great garden this year so far. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but so far it's looking good. And we grow a variety of things that we can keep all year. We have things that protein like beans. You grow beans. Well, that's a protein that you can keep. I remember in the early days, that's what people ate. They ate a lot of beans. They put a ham hock in there. I think it's ham hock and beans. And biscuits. That was it. That was your meal.
So, and that sounds good. Would you like some ham hocks and
well,
beans?
I'm allergic to pork, so I can't deal with it. However,
and I don't want anything to happen to you, so I will not give it to you. Okay.
Thank you. But I would take some turkey in it though.
Okay, but and then also beets for protein. Also, we were successful in growing beets last year, so we're growing them. Carrots, we were successful in growing carrots, so we're growing carrots.
But I just want to go back to beets for a minute, Renee. I just found out that there's 3 different types of beets, and I've been looking for the white beets. The white beets are much sweeter than the red beets. And if anyone know where I can get some, give us a call at 252-756-2008, because I would really love to get some white beets and to be able to plant them and eat them.
And then I have a herb garden. I'm growing thyme, sage, rosemary, oregano, mint. And I'm going to be putting in the earth also some turmeric, because that's very good for arthritis or inflammation. And then also ginger, so that if I go to the store and I can't find this stuff, all I'm going to do is go to our backyard and start to pick it up.
That's right. Put it in the freezer and we have it.
We have we have peppers already, tomatoes already coming out. We have, what else?
We have a little bit of everything. Renee.
Strawberries. Right now we're eating from our garden now. Yeah, strawberries.
That's right. We have sweet potatoes. All these things. And it doesn't take a whole lot of land to do it. And if you live in an apartment, you can get you a couple pots. And put some vegetables in there, or some beans or tomatoes, and grow them. It's so easy.
I just want our listening audience to know that we're News and Politics Today with Renee and Calvin Boston Hill. We're here every Monday at 10 a.m. and we get a lot of feedback. Our topics are so right on target. And we're just trying to shake you up a little bit to not take things for granted. And Awesome Radio allows us to have this voice. And again, Awesome Radio 106.9 FM. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Roku. We're all over.
We're all over. And you know what? For our Awesome Radio listeners, you might not realize this, but we even have someone in Africa to listen to our show. And today we have someone says, I'm just going to read a couple comments. Today's show is so imperative. Then someone
that's D from or Doug from New York. He's in New York. We have somebody from Chicago, Angie McKenzie Morris. She lives in Chicago. Donna Davis, she lives in Virginia.
Right. So we have people from all over. Then someone says, thanks so much for the great information. I don't know if everybody want their name out there. That's why I didn't read their names.
But he's in North Carolina.
He's in North Carolina. You're right. He's right here in North Carolina. So you see, we have people from all over the United States and even outside the United States
and
listen to us.
And we're looking forward to y'all, if not this week, joining us in conversation, because what you feel and what you want to say is just as important as us and the things. Maybe there's a subject matter that we didn't touch and you feel that it's important for our listening audience. Do not hesitate. If you think this is only for North Carolina, whatever's going on here is going on in your state. And we just ask you to go vote tomorrow. If voting is something that is going on in your state, we ask that you understand that democracy is on the ballot. We need to get these guns out off the streets. And if a person, no matter even if they're white, okay, and they're showing signs of being unstable, we need to make sure that they're put in a place where they cannot do harm for people. And we Black people are going to find a place where we can be safe in this America.
Well, and that's so true. We need to feel safe, because I'll tell you, to be honest, after this incident, there was another shooting, that was just yesterday, that 5 people got killed. So, these guns are so easily to get, and we just got to do something. That's all I can say. We have to do something, because anybody that wants a gun pretty much can get one.
Okay, so again, listening audience, we look forward to you coming back. Maybe you want to jot the number down now for next week, 252-756-2008. Again, we're here at Awesome Radio, 106.9 FM WBIS. And we thank all our listening audience, those who made comments saying good morning. Well, good morning to you back.
Yes.
And again, it's no time to sleep, because if you sleep, who knows what's going to wake you up.
That's right. So please make sure that you go out and vote. Make sure that you take someone with you to vote. It's so important. Even a handicapped person, just they can sit in the car and just pull up, and somebody will come out and register and give them a ballot. It's so important that we vote. As President Obama used to say, get mad.
Don't be angry.
Don't be angry. Vote. So that's what we're saying. I'm saying get mad, get angry, and vote. Because we need everyone to get out there and vote.
And you need to have your voice heard with the 5 caller apps to your representative, letting them know how you're feeling, because not all of the people who are in Congress are up for a re-election this 2022. So they're going to be sitting up there still not doing anything. And you need to let them know that you sent them there to do a job, and their job is to look at the bills that are being presented and vote yes or no. And we know that last week, Wednesday, what is the Senator Schumer? He put a vote out there. So again, have a great week, and we'll be back.